It's a Godwinson live news alert. And it's the Pirates of the Caribbean that's laying us in tonight. I've got a 7-Up here and a few of them because I think it's going to be quite a long night. This might be quite a long stream. I did try and acquire a box of wine. Boxed wine, I tried to acquire it. I went to the local supermarket, perused the wine section, found that the boxed wine wasn't in the wine section, bizarrely. Picked it up, walked over to the till, and the look that greeted me was one that I'll never forget. I think I've been banned from the local supermarket. I think they think I'm a chronic alcoholic. I'm completely bottom of the barrel. There's no hope in saving me. My kidneys probably need to be replaced. Worse than Ethan Ralph. That's the disproving look I acquired when I attempted to get the box of wine. So I put it back and got some 7-Ups instead. Because unlike Andy Warski, I'm not going to be getting inebriated on the stream. And I'm certainly not going to be leaning over here and doing coke. Over there, folks, and doing some coke. Or boxed wine. I didn't know Pirates of the Caribbean went on this long, to be honest, but this guy's just going off. So we're going to shut it off. We're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Now, it's been a crazy few hours. I was going to stream last night, but things were just happening where I was transfixed and glued to the screen, and I thought, I need to process this before we go live. I need to figure it out in my own mind. I need to have a sleep. I just need to work out what the fuck's going on. I know exactly where we're going to start. But prior to all that, we're just going to do a quick recap before we get into the full show. Where to begin? Okay, so PPP is now streaming on this social justice PPP channel, which he's renamed the Kino Cathedral. This is his Life Raft of the Damned for any long-time viewers out there. Life Raft of the Damned. So we've got the Kino Cathedral, where he seems to be putting out content that's entirely designed for the Kino Casino. So we've had a Ralph video or two Vickers videos, basically. Of course, it's about Ethan Ralph, and it's a return to pressing Vickers against the coals. We'll get into that. Within these videos, it's become clear that Ashton PPP no longer wants to continue his business partnership with Andy Warski. Keep this in mind. Last night, we put out a poll on the channel asking whether it's time to gift PPP the redemption arc. We'll get into the poll in just a second. Many votes. And it's a close one. It's a real close one. PPP streams live last night, doubling down on the fact that he's not going to be streaming with Warski anytime soon. And then what we see is an apology video from Warski put on his Twitter. We're getting into all of this. This is just a quick summary before we dive in. Warski puts out an apology video. Within that apology video, amazing revelations, which we're going to unpack. And then subsequent to that, there's a tweet that comes out where he confirms that the show is back next week. Almonds are activated. What on earth are you thinking, PPP? Is the money really that strong? Is there not any other way of making money than doing so with Andy Warski? Sure as shit, I know in my own mind, if the only way I could secure money for the future, forever, my entire life, was to be working alongside Andy Warski in any capacity, I'd rather just die. I'd rather just swallow the bullet there and then. Because I can't work with Andy Warski. I'm amazed that you're able to, and still stomach whatever pride, whatever dignity you've got left. Choke that down. Holy fucking shit, folks. But ladies and gentlemen, it's not only that. Jim's apparently done a stream that I haven't watched, where he's also raking them over the coals. It's a complete disaster, ladies and gentlemen. Let's begin. Let's begin. I'm going to switch the camera. Let's go. Okay. What are we going to first? This one. Right. So we've got a poll here. Yada, 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 yada. Bottom line, do we give PPP a redemption arc, folks? So, as you can see, the vote is very close. It's not necessarily split, because I think there's a 4 percentile difference between the two bars. 4% between the two. And we've had 820 votes. I've not had time to put into Google the maths on that, but perhaps someone can give me the votes for yes and the votes for no. Any mathematicians in the audience, please fire away. But as we can see, it's very close. This is good. I like to see this because it means that events that will play out soon and now and subsequently are going to determine whether or not this tie is broken, right? Events that will happen very soon are going to determine whether the yes bar goes straight up or the no bar goes straight up. And a conclusive result will be reached. So 394 for yes, 32.8 votes difference. All right, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Job the Knob did indeed win. 426 no. Okay. There's so many different numbers coming around. I don't know. Maybe we've all got broken calculators or something, but I'll work out the maths later. But please do get your votes in. I'm going to keep this up for as long as I possibly can because I want to see whether or not events that I'm about to transpire will cause one of these two bars to shoot up and we can have a conclusive, definitive result. Okay, so I think we should get into Koksky's apology first, right? I think we should get into the apology first. So he puts on his Twitter here. Oh, right. I think I didn't know this was, but just gaze at this, folks. Gaze at this. Just observe. I have a new British BFF coming on Kino Casino this Friday. It didn't happen, but maybe it's next Friday. So here you can see PPP, right? Here you can see Millennial Woes. Here you can see someone I have no face recognition of. Who the fuck is that? And here you can see Andy Warski. I've seen an image like this very much before. It seems very similar. I've got deja vu here, right, folks? Can anyone guess the image I'm referring to? Where a cast of characters were lined up at an IRL event. Cast of characters with a checkered history behind them. Characters present were Dick Masterson, Ethan Ralph, Coach, bizarrely, Coach Red Pill, and some other one I can't remember. Was Sean in it? Was Gator in it? I can't recall, but I can recall those characters. But this is definitely the lineup. Almost pose to pose, the exact same. But I never thought I'd see it recreated with PPP standing arm over shoulder with Millennial Woes. This guy, whoever this guy is, and Andy Warski, of course. Looking incredibly coked out there, by the way. Right. Quick divergence. I didn't actually know that was on his timeline, but there we go. So we've got the Warski video, right? He puts it out last night. Oh, fuck. Right, he puts it out last night. He writes, in response to the allegations against me and an apology to PPP and to anyone who I may have upset. Okay. Also keep in mind, folks, because this is a brilliant point, that wasn't my point, but once it was pointed out to me, I kept thinking, what the fuck? All of these apologies that are going on to the audience that they've garnered, that they get paid from, are being sent out on side channels like Warski's Twitter and this social justice Kino Cathedral, less than, 3,000 sub channel. None of them are apologies, if they were really that sincere, are being put out on the main network of the Daka Daka channel. They don't actually want their audience to know about this. They just think they can address it in the shadows. And they can always point and say, well, we apologize there in the corner you know, in the shadows there, you know. I think that's what's happening. I think that's the truth behind the matter. So let's go into this. This has bizarrely had 9,400 views on this. When we get into this apology, it's absolutely fucking depraved is the word I'm going to apply to this. Depraved. He's addressing us like he's a politician. It's Andy Warski. Before we carry on, let's go. Right, I'm putting him in full screen so we can see his pupils. Let's go. He's really fucking low. He's really fucking low.
An update on that. Well, I feel really bad about this. A couple days ago, I was drinking.
He's really fucking low, and I can't turn up the sound for some reason. But he just says he feels. Bleh. I think the most entertaining way would be for me to recite Andy's words for those in the audience that are hard of hearing. So he's just said, I feel really bad about this. Okay, so he's refrained from screaming B-jams. He's refrained from snorting a line of coke straight as we open. And he's just said, we feel really bad about this. So we're going to carry on. We're going to carry on. I was drinking even before the stream started. I shouldn't be doing that in the first place. I have a box of wine here, it's real. So he's showing the box of wine. He's just shown us that box of wine there to prove that he wasn't snorting coke, he was instead snorting wine or drinking wine. I'm not making the suggestion that he's purely gone out and bought this box of wine just prior to this apology video to try and make it seem like he's got an alibi. I'm not making that suggestion, but that's exactly the suggestion I'm making. I don't believe him for 1 minute. I think as we see him there looking at that box of wine, you can see just there in the angle of his nose and face that he wishes it was a few lines of coke. He really regrets buying the decision of the boxed wine. Let's go.
And to fill up the wine, I didn't want to put the box in front of the camera. I thought that would be unprofessional.
So he's just said, and to fill up the wine, I didn't want to put the box in front of the camera. It was unprofessional. It was very unprofessional. I mean, words fail me. Since when did Andy Warski become an arbiter of professionalism? Since when, in his decades-long career on the internet, has Warski been a professional man? When I think of professionalism, Andy Warski doesn't enter one's mind. When I think of Andy Warski, what enters my mind is an abortionist, a cokehead, a degenerate, someone who strapped a VR to his face throughout the whole of Warski Live, the golden age of his time on the internet, and spent that time masturbating. And I also see, when I think of Warski, a snake. A fucking snake.
What ended up happening is I'm doing this. I'm doing the wine like that, and some people are accusing me of doing coke.
So he's just gone, what ended up happening was this. And he goes to attempt to snort the box of wine to make it seem so completely ludicrous. And then he goes, people thought I was doing coke. Yeah. People used their brains. They observed what was happening in front of their eyes and came to a definitive conclusion. Not just based on what they were seeing, but also based on your past record, on your track history. And the boxed wine, the boxed fucking wine, bro, it's insane. The cope. If this was Ralph, by the way, or Fuentes, this would have been a 6, 10, 15-hour show. They might even have made this the show for the next month, 2, 3 months, interspersed with super chats every 3 minutes. Wolfie Games Admirer for 50 cents. It's shameful and shameless.
No, I wasn't doing coke.
I wasn't doing coke, I promise you.
People will believe what they want to believe.
People will believe what they want to believe.
That's what happened. What upset me the most, though, is I disappointed Ashton. I upset Ashton because he believed I was doing it.
He just said what upset him the most, what really got to him, was that he upset Ashton because Ashton believed he was doing it. Deary me. Deary me. Now, do we really think that Warski was really truly upset at that? Or was upset that the grift had come to a premature conclusion? Or a belated conclusion, if you're one of my followers. The real reason why Warski is feigning this apology and feigning this sincerity is purely because the grift is over. And he's got to pay for the coke and the boxed wine and the catfish and the fucking $1,000 tracksuits and steroids. The grift is dead. The grift is over. But what really upset him was that Ashton was hurt by it. And Ashton believed that he was doing coke. On the show, let's go.
I swore up and down when the show was done and he accused me that I wasn't doing it.
I swore up and down that I wasn't doing coke.
Yesterday, and he made a stream about me, and
He made a stream about me.
You know, we talked later though.
This is interesting, right? So that was pretty damning, the stream that PPP did. He publicly called out his co-host, said he was a cokehead, said he wasn't going to do a show with him until he gets clean, until he goes to rehab, until he starts doing drug tests before each show. Pretty strong words there from Ashton. Well, the problem is I can't turn it up, my friends. For some reason, the audio's just low when I pipe it through Twitter, so I'm having to do this translation of Warski. I'm having to just recite his words in a way that we can all understand, and then pick them apart. But yeah, so it baffles me that after the strength of Ashton's disavowal of Warski's actions, did they then go on a call together? And you'll see here exactly what transpired in that call. And it's fucking nuts, folks. I have never had this conversation with anyone in my life apart from someone I was fucking. Just keep that in mind.
Sort of hashed out some things, and I ended up showing him all my text messages, my phone calls.
I ended up showing him all of my text messages and my phone calls.
Holy fucking shit. Judge PPP, sitting there with the phone in his hand, combing through Andy Warski's social media, his text messages, his phone calls, his bank account, which he'll reveal in a second. That's pretty fucking wild. That's pretty fucking wild.
My WhatsApp. He even went into my banking information and looked at my transaction.
Now, he's saying this because he wants to feel completely vindicated, because he wants to pull one over your eyes, because he thinks you're absolute fools, members of the audience. I'm not speaking from personal experience, but I am. I have never bought Class A's from my card or any way that could be tied back to me. I have never done that. And I'd be amazed if anyone who hasn't got brain damage does that. Who buys fucking Class A's with their bank card? But maybe that's exactly what happens with Andy Warski. He is retarded, but I don't believe it for 1 minute. I don't believe it for 1 minute. But it seems to be that PPP has swallowed it hook, line, and sinker once again. He's decided, after combing through Andy Warski's bank statements, that's exactly what he's just said there, that Warski didn't buy any coke and wasn't snorting lines of coke throughout the whole show the other night. Insane. Insane. What's Class A's? What? What? Okay, let's go.
Steam and Uber Eats.
It was Steam and Uber Eats, guys.
Drinking was because I ordered from Uber Eats as well.
The drinking was because he ordered from Uber Eats as well.
I'm very sorry, Aston, I disappointed you.
and not taking their show seriously.
I've been stupid.
On the show links,
True that.
great job on finding show links. I got a bit lazy, and it's no.
He got a bit lazy. Now, I see that some of the writers are in the chat. How much does that wound you, guys, that he's just said, I just got a bit lazy. I just got a bit lazy of late. Knowing Andy Warski's work ethic from the moment this whole enterprise started, knowing that he contributed zero to the actual show itself, apart from OBS, knowing that he was literally, quite literally, a dead weight right from the beginning. But he's just been a bit stupid of late.
And I'm very, very sorry.
He's very, very sorry.
I'm sorry to anyone I've upset.
And he's sorry to anyone he's upset.
Basically, I swear I'm gonna knock it off.
He's gonna knock it off, guys. He's gonna knock it off. He's gonna knock off either the coke, or the stupidity, or both, or the alcohol. I don't know. I've got no idea.
Be better. All right. I love you all. And Ashton, I'm sorry, dude.
I love you all, and Aston, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, dude.
Okay. And you can see there the sincere look in his eyes as he delivered that. You know what this reminded me of the moment I saw this apology video? You ever seen a school play, school pantomime, when the kids are like reading aloud lines? Not the lines that this guy's familiar with, but lines from a page of paper in front of them. That was what this was. Was it pre-written? Who wrote this statement that he's clearly read, right? Who wrote this? Kyler? Ashton? Geek Thulu? Who wrote this? It's just like all of his other fake apologies. True that, because this ain't the first time he's had to do this, is it? People with long memories. People who were around, I don't know, 6 months ago, 10 months ago. Anyone who's familiar with Warski at all has seen about a dozen of these apologies. His dad wrote the apology. That's right, Sargoy. His dad wrote the apology. Or maybe it was Warski Gaines' admirer, guys. Maybe it was Warski Gaines' admirer. So that's the apology, right? Now, I thought, okay, so Ashton clearly hasn't bought a word this guy said, because this is such a fucking bullshit event. This is such a cope. There's no way, if Ashton's gone through this guy's phone, and you know, breaking news alert, text messages can be deleted, and so can call histories, okay? But if Ashton's gone through his bank statements and didn't find a coke transaction, you know, I don't know how to break this to you, but I don't think anyone buys illicit substances of the Class A variety directly from their bank account. But maybe. So I was under the impression, okay, my once dear friend PPP has kicked this guy to the curb and just said, fuck off, man. Fuck off, man. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, he didn't do that. You know why we know he didn't do that? Well, there's a tweet just made after this and we're going to read it. And, you know, we're just going to keep this in mind, by the way. Keep in mind the poll. Keep in mind how close this poll is. Maybe the poll will change with this stream, or maybe the poll will change with the subsequent Kino Casino stream that Warski has promised to all and sundry. Let's go.
Just had a long talk with PPP. We are good. Tensions were high yesterday, and so was I.
He didn't say that, but he was.
But we had a good talk.
Good talk. A good talk with Andy Warski. What a great discussion. What tidbits of philosophy were discussed there? What political takes were swapped there? What great candor was exchanged in that good talk, folks?
We are gonna return with the Kino Casino next week. Let's fucking go. let things chill out and come back fresh.
So let's sweep it up and come back. Let's hope that the audience has forgotten about this. This is the contempt with which they treat their audience. You're like fucking drooling goldfish. Imagine being in the position, right? Kino Casino Pay Pigs, where Andy Warski thinks he's mentally superior to you, where he thinks an apology video like this and a tweet like this can pull the wool over your eyes and convince you of anything he says. Holy fucking shit.
I won't be drinking on stream ever again.
Now, screenshot this, do whatever you want, archive this, put this on a website, guys, chisel it onto the gravestone. I won't be drinking on stream ever again. X to doubt, folks. X to doubt. I want to see lots of X's. This is Andy Warski. But he's promising us he won't be drinking on stream ever again. I want you to all know how quickly they make promises and break them.
As it is 100% not a good look.
It's not about, right, whether it's good for the livelihood that Ashton's tied himself to, the financial security of Ashton, whether or not PPP is going to be freezing in the cold cabin again. It's not about whether it's good for that. It's purely about it not being a good look. They're image obsessed. They're image obsessed. And you know what? It begs the question, what's he doing off stream? I know bits. I know bits about what he's doing when he's not doing the show. But holy fucking shit. I'm going to say here that I won't be drinking on stream ever again, as it's 100% not a good look. That ain't going to solve shit, because we just know Warski's going to be shooting his veins with heroin prior to each show. You know? What the fuck? What the fucking fuck? And this is the pinned tweet. I just want to let that sit there. I'm just going to let that sit there, actually. We're going to play the rest of the Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm going to have a little interlude. All right, I'm just going to put the camera back on myself. 1 second. Okay, it's a bit... I didn't know the Pirates of the Caribbean went on this long, but each new part of the song makes me lifted. Not as lifted as Warski when he's done 12 lines, but lifted, you know. All right, so there we go. That was the apology from Andy Warski there. I just want a quick poll of the people that thought it was boxed wine and took Warski at his word. That took Ashton's investigation, where he was like Poirot and combed through Warski's phone, combed through Warski's bank statements, combed through Warski's social media accounts, and came to the conclusion that no, Warski didn't snort coke. I want a 1 for the people that believed that lie, and I want a 2 for the people that definitely 100% know in their own minds what they saw and ain't going to be gaslit. I'm seeing a lot of 2s. Unfortunately, I'm seeing quite a lot of 2s. I say unfortunately because it becomes apparent with every passing moment that the real PPP froze to death in that cabin in the woods. The corpse is still there, folks. I've got Surfer driving out, by the way, to Thunder Bay to go and check. To go and check and recover the corpse so we can give him a decent funeral. Because the zombie that's lingering around now, the fucking Night Walker, the Snowman, That ain't the PPP that we all used to know. I don't know if some sort of X-Files ice parasitic worm slid into the Ashton corpse ear upon the moment of being completely frozen to death and took over the body, animated him and took over him like he was some sort of puppet. I don't know. Maybe it's not that literal. But what I do know is that the parasite known as Andy Warski slithered into my friend's ear when he was freezing to death in that cabin of the woods and gave birth, creation, to what we've seen play out over the past few months. That's what I know. That's what I know. So we're going to go into the PPP account now, and we'll see where we are maybe with a Q&A at the end. We'll give a refresh of the poll, and we'll just take stock of things before things get really fucking crazy. I am on a time limit because I do know that the Scuffed Express is apparently coming. The Scuffed Express, I think this is the most promotion it's ever had. It's being run by Squire and Persip, known to many as the writers of the Keno Casino. I don't know if they're going to be telling tales. I haven't spoken to these guys in months. I haven't spoken to any of them in months. I'm a bad friend, but the reality is that if they don't deliver stuff that they've told me, stuff that we're all aware of, then, you know, this promotion that I've given, this little trailer here, is going to be very, very disappointing. So I know there's a Scuffed Express coming, which I'll be watching, and I'm certain there's going to be a cavalcade of events that will play out subsequent to this stream, because it seems to me that there always is now. It continues, folks. So PPP did this stream. I'm just going to switch it back. I have a vape, by the way, now. I came off the smokes. People can change. People can give up their vices and replace them with sugar-free 7-Ups and vapes. People can change. Can 34-year-old coke addicts who murder their children change? X to doubt. X to doubt. But people can change. Right, let's go. So we've got PPP here. He's just his shirt. Hooray. There is rejoicing in the land. And he's changed the PPP, Social Justice PPP Backwater channel where he's doing the apologies to the audience that pay him. He's changed it to the Keno Cathedral. For long-term Godwinson fans, this is the life raft of the damned. That phrase has a lot of lore behind it, and don't take it just literally. But that's what he's changed it to. Is this to set up the grift? Now, a couple of streams ago now, bizarrely, I made the prophecy that this is exactly what was going to happen. And I was right, yet again. So that's another W handed to the king. So he's done this stream on Mr. Vickers. He did 2 streams on Mr. Vickers, actually. But Mr. Vickers, it's time to stop. You could take this stream, the title of this stream, and in fact, this very thumbnail of the stream from any moment in Ashton's internet career prior to his joining up with Andy Warski. Because let's not forget that content was cancelled, content was buried, like the diary, purely because Vickers was paying him and he didn't want to rustle any jimmies, and he didn't want to lose a paycheck from Mr. Vickers. But apparently now the gloves are off, right? Apparently now the gloves are off. Probably, in fact, I know why. The gloves are off because Vickers has aligned his wagon to COG, and he ain't paying PPP and Andy Warski anymore. COG's getting the money. COG. Mr. COG. COG's getting paid over PPP and Andy Warski. COG. COG. Right, let's go. What?
Let's go!
Let's go. In fact, we're not going to play. We're not going to play. We're not.
Vickers!
Mr. Vickers. I don't have the patience to watch a 1 hour, 13 minute, 19-second stream on Mr. Vickers. I just don't have the patience. I don't have the patience. But what you're going to see, really, I just wanted to show you what he does in this stream, mainly, the visual representation. So you can see here, he's got like a cardigan, because winter is coming. I think people point out that he's got this cardigan, and he decides to put the cardigan on. It's rough. It's fucking tough, bros. It's fucking tough. The moment your grift ends, you've got the fucking cardigan in the corner there, waiting. I mean, that's fucking tough, bros. That's fucking rough. He did promise he'd never be cold again, and this is what he bought with the money, a cardigan. But we're going to just skip to where he puts the cardigan on. He put the cardigan on in the other... Oh, he didn't put it on. He put it in a dream. I thought he put it on with this... That's fucked. That's fucked. The protruding cardigan felt, guys. You know? It's not felted. It's not tabled. It's not laminated anymore. It's fucking cardiganed. Cardiganed, bros. But in this stream, I don't have the timestamp, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna do what any normal, sensible person does when watching or combing through this shit. I'm just gonna search Andy's name through the transcript, and this is the main reason why we waited this long, because we were waiting for the transcript. Because I wasn't gonna watch a fucking screed on Mr. Vickers. I could give two shits. Two shits. So we're control effing Andy. What? Right, we're control effing Andy. There's 11 mentions. Bear with me, folks. Okay, we found a relevant timestamp that isn't about Ethan Ralph or Mr. Vickers. Okay.
Who from her own lying lips declared Mr. Vickers himself a pedophile who molested her? Are we supposed to believe that, Mr. Vickers, that you molested Faith?
This is quite desperate.
It's about as good faith as going on and expecting everybody to believe her bullshit lies about Ralph.
Okay, so in the intro now, he's just noticed that Jesse Podawful, known to many as the Pickle Man, is in the chat and is cardiganing his ass, right? And he's going to call out Jesse now.
Woo! Oh, get to you, Podawful, you fucking faggot, you talentless hack. Into the future. Woo! You know what? Before we even get into Mr. Vickers, Jesse, you suck. You're not talented. No one has ever cared about you. You've had the same, 200 or 300 bot viewers for the last, fucking 2 years, Jesse?
You know who does care about Jesse, PPP? Who's got a big place in his heart for Jesse? Your co-host, Andy Warski. Andy fucking loves Jesse. Andy had to talk you down from completely blowing this guy out. Deservedly, by the way. I stand with people. I fucking hate Podawful. Jesse dropped the ball, fucked it back in the day. Smothered New Project 2 in its cradle like Warski did his unborn son. That's Jesse. No love in my heart for Jesse. And then you managed to get him on a show where you could actually call him out when he comes up to the fucking... He comes up dressed as a pickle. But instead you had to bow down to Andy Warski and say, can we remember, folks? Can we all say it at once? It's a word beginning with K. They all said it was a word... Yes. Yes, folks. You're all saying it in unison and I love you for it. They all said it was kayfabe. PPP loves Jesse. That's right, folks. But no, the reality of the situation is as it's always been. Everyone fucking hates Jesse, apart from Andy Warski, who's been trying to palace coup him, with Jesse since day one.
You insert yourself into everything. Desperate for attention, for any sort of validation. Daddy Jim, let me send you potatoes in the mail. Please notice me, Jim. Notice me.
I just want to chip in and say it's a bit rich. It's a bit rich to call someone out for groveling to Daddy Jim when you doxed me and you did that stream groveling to Daddy Jim. I'm so cold. And you know what? I'll never be cold again. I remember, so you don't have to.
Ashton, notice me. I launched a fake Keno casino that Worski was too drunk to show up for 3 hours. And then Worski came on drunk to try and prove that he didn't have a problem with substances. Fuck off, Jesse. You're a shit disturber, and you don't have Andy's best interest at heart.
Nor do I. Who gives a fuck about Andy's best interests? Who gives a fuck about Andy's best interests? And who the fuck keeps Andy's best interests at heart? If I was in Andy's ear, I'd be telling him to... Can I say that without being flagged down? I think we all know what I'd be speaking and whispering into Andy's ear like worm tongue. The bits of advice that I'd be giving Andy. I think we can all figure that out. There ain't no chance that I'm going to be saying, just pull it together, man. Just try and make something of the 34 years you've had and the 5 years you've got left. You know, no one's got Andy's best interests at heart. But this has become a custody battle between Pod Awful and PPP over Andy Warski. Grimer Godwin Tongue, you have won, my friend. But this has become a custody battle over the welfare of Andy Warski. It's fucking gay. It's gay, folks. It's gay. It's gay. It's homosexual. And it's fucked. It's fucked.
And getting yourself fucking attention. Congratulations, you got 60 seconds out of a fucking side channel PPP video, Jesse. Congratulations, you faggot. You fucking loser.
I agree with the sentiment. I mean, he is a faggot and he's a fucking loser. Imagine wanting to be Dick Masterson. Imagine being in that position. Holy fuck. That's Jesse for you. But yeah, the new co-host of the Keno Casino, when PPP finally gets out of the domestic violence situation he's in with Warski, where he's his battered wife, the new host would be Jesse in a heartbeat because Andy loves him. So we're going to go to we're on the third mention, by the way, of Andy. So there's 11 of them. So we're just going to go to the next timestamp, folks. Okay, I don't know what this is, but we're 15 minutes in.
2 to fucking tango, and you reap what you motherfucking sow.
Is he describing himself, or?
And the truth is, if Ralph doesn't do his whole hollering hog routine, if Ralph doesn't come online and shake his fucking cup for pennies and rage at me or rage at Andy or rage at whoever the fuck, Xander's not going to be provided for. That's the reality. As a father, as fucked up as it is, because Ralph's never going to get a real fucking job, he's a convicted felon on top of his online reputation.
I'm sorry, guys. It's just I'm so burnt out on the comings and goings of Ethan Ralph. I can't give a shit anymore. I've been so oversaturated by what him and Andy Warski have been serving up to us and calling it Keno fraudulently, that I'm just burnt out and saturated. I can't watch Ralph content. I genuinely can't. I'm at the point now where I need to see him murder-suicide. I need to see him walk into a shopping mall, live stream the massacre that would take place, that would be what gets me interested in Ethan Ralph. What can I say? I'm just oversaturated. I'm burnt out on it. When they've done shows, 12-hour shows, on Ethan Ralph staring at a computer screen and Nick Fuentes eating a French fry in a gay way, I can't watch any content. I can't do it. I can't do it, folks. My mind, it zones away. It just goes to anything else. I'd rather look at a paint drying on a wall than this. But we're going to go to the next timestamp because I think that was the Andy mention. Okay. Okay, here we go. So 21 minutes 33 seconds in.
And it was just a lot funnier. There was a lot more joy to him. He was less washed. I want the old Adam back. I want the old Godwinson back. Where the fuck is he?
He's right here.
Where is he to shit on Tardsky for the boxed wine conspiracy?
I'm here.
Now I have
I'm doing it right now.
And entertain you, motherfucker. Duck Dick says, why no casino? Because Andy needs to get clean. He's fucked up. Oh, let him drink. Let him do drugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let him kill himself.
Yes. What a great idea.
It's the fucking pot awful faggot take.
It's the Godwinson take and the majority of the audience's take as well. That's the take. That's the take.
Oh, let the guy fucking kill himself.
Yes.
Makes sense.
It makes complete sense.
Oh, shit.
And I think that's the all right, we have to go. So we're on the 5th mention of Andy now. And this is a mention of Andy Dick. Okay. Okay, now we're 40 minutes, 42 seconds in. And let's see where we are with this.
Bifurcated. It's not true. When am I going to learn OBS? It's never happening. I refuse to learn OBS. It's beneath me. It's for insects.
I just want to say what it says on the timestamp because the transcript is funnier there. Can you see the transcript? So, I refuse to learn OBS. It's beneath me. It's foreign sex.
What would Andy Jr. think about you, Gun Garden PPP?
Andy Jr. would be spinning in his grave, his little tiny grave.
It's not gun guarding. It's just fucking living in reality. It's living in the reality there, folks, where Ralph Coin is rising.
Is this the tape? Is this what happened during that stream? Is he now gun guarding for Ralph in an attempt to do a kill stream partnership where he heel turns and betrays Warski and jumps on with Ethan Ralph? I don't even think Ralph is that stupid. I don't even think Ralph would allow you to cross the lines, man. What the fuck? What the fuck? Is it not better to just strike on your own? And when you're offered another man's sword, you just go no? And use your own sword? Why does it have to be now that you jump from EDAD? Not just PPP. This is the U as in the fucking general U. Why is it that you have to jump from eDaddy to grift? What happened to just doing it on your own? Riding solo, being a neat Ronin. What happened to the good old days? What happened to the fucking good old days, the golden age?
Giancarlo Reyes says, are you really winning?
No.
Are you, though? Are you winning, son?
When someone asks you, are you really winning? And your reply is, are you, though? The answer's given, isn't it?
He's trans frosty. Transformed into a snowman. Person. I'm snowman, PPP, person. What's my beer of choice?
Okay, we're done with the stream. we're done with that one. But as we could see, the cardigan protruding there. I just wanted to show you the fucking. Hang on, bear with. He's wearing the cardigan now. He's wearing the cardigan. It's getting pretty fucking cold outside. The grift is over. I'm just going to let this be an intermission while I crack open another can of 7-Up and I line up the next clip. So let's just witness what this is. This fucking show about Faith Vickers. I think I can hear Cog. And this is PPP's reaction to that.
What a cope.
And we can see a litany of Godwinson ones there.
This one though, surely will be the one that owns Ralph.
He came out, and the first thing he told me was that he was 5'11". You know?
So he lied about his height. He said he was 5'11". He was only 5'1". What a shock it was. Too bad you still decided to bear his child anyway, you stupid cunt. Why didn't you just go back home to Daddy? Because it was all to get back at Daddy, because your daddy is just like Ralph. That's the whole reality of the situation. Holy.
Okay. He wasn't like Ralph when you were taking his money, by the way, and you were doing the defence force, Mr. Vickers. But okay. What we're going to do is, we're going to do a quick switch back to me. While I line up this next bit, we're going to do a roundup. We're going to look at the fucking Canadian weather forecast for this winter. Sorry, I thought I'd switched it back. And then we're going to do a quick Q&A, and I think we'll round out the show. Because I want to keep this as a good hour before the Scuffed Express goes live, and because I want to enjoy the events as a participant and a viewer as well. It's joy for me also. It's entertainment for me as well. So, Canadian weather forecast, let's go. So what we've just seen there, right, is tellingly a shift back to the old PPP format. PPP format. We see him going back to his roots, as it were, almost uncannily, where we're literally recycling content from... I mean, that's a Mr. Vickers takedown and a Cog takedown and a Faith takedown could have come down from 2020, 2021. You know, it's like cryogenically unfrozen from the past. It's nothing new. But we see that pivot. We see very obvious gestures towards Ethan Ralph. Make me your business partner is essentially what he's saying. We see a cardigan protruding in the background, and we see him wearing the cardigan because winter is coming. So Canadian weather forecast, winter 22. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. It's gonna be a cold one. It's gonna be fucking cold, guys. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. He might have to buy a second cardigan. Oh, fuck. It says here, right? It says here to shovel or not to shovel. Based on our extended weather forecasts, the winter season will be quite stormy. An active storm will travel across, running the... It's going to be cold, basically. It's going to be fucking cold. It's going to be really fucking cold. There's a little map here of how cold it's going to be. And it literally does say, it translates the fucking colours for us by saying, shake, shiver, shovel. Shake, shiver, shovel. Better keep those words in mind, Ashton. Shake, shiver, shovel. The forecast for across Canada, we've got brisk temperatures, average precipitation. Probably best to go over there. Probably best to migrate there. As we move closer to where PPP is, it says hibernation zone, glacial, snow-filled. This part here says very cold, snow-filled. This part says unreasonably cold, snowy. Significant shivers, lots of slush, snow and ice. And they can't even describe. They can't even describe. I mean, holy fucking shit, guys. And that's from the Farmer's Almanac. Shout out there. Follow them on Facebook, Twitter. Is the P Pinterest? Instagram and TikTok. I don't know what TikToks they're putting out there. Right. So there we go. There we go. They're the events as they played out. Now, I know there's been a Jim stream where he's fucking raked them over the coals and I hear hasn't done his classic routine of sweeping it up. I hear that he hasn't done the Janny Jim routine. I could be wrong, but what I've heard, based on me not seeing Jim's stream today, is that he hasn't swept it up. All right. We've got 4 minutes now for questions, and then we'll round it out. So anyone got anything they want to hear? Daddy Jim redemption arc. Yeah? Yeah? I thought we'd have to wait till he died, and then we could venerate him as a saint, but it seems that he's trying to get the redemption arc in prior to death. Paulie Frog says, he doesn't sweep it up. He made fun of them for over 30 minutes. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I've heard as well, Paulie Frog. So, time will tell. How long of a walk would it be in the snow? I think it's going to be a pretty long walk. It's going to be a pretty long walk back. It's going to be a pretty long walk back, folks. Millennial 2022 appearance. I'd rather neck myself. I'd rather literally blow my brains out than appear on Millennial. And I'm invited every fucking year. And the response I always give is, you're the Kevin Spacey of the alt-right, you're a sex offender, and I wish you were dead. Where can I find the Scuffed Express? I think you type in Scuffed Express, and it should be there, but it could be on some other backwater channel that no one knows the name of. But Scuffed Express, typed it in. Okay, yeah, no, we don't have any Scuffed Express results. So I don't know how you find the fucking Scuffed Express. It's literally telling me how to fix scratches on a glossy tile. I'll show you, just so you think I'm... There we go. Typed in Scuffed Express, we've got some results, and the first is how to fix scratches on a glossy tile. The next is about fixing scratches in leather shoes. So I don't know how we're finding the Scuffed Express, but if it's interesting enough, I'll do a stream on it. We might even stream snipe it. Are you here to stay after the drama dust has finally settled? Maybe. I mean, I do feel a bit re-energized now. I think events aren't as stale as they were, constantly recycling Ethan Ralph and Nick Fuentes talking points. It feels like there's been a game-changing moment and we're in a Carolian age. I certainly feel that my batteries are recharged, and maybe this is what it took. And honestly, I can see a return to form, folks. Four Horsemen versus PPP and Warski Street. Well, if you remember, the Four Horsemen include PPP, and the Four Horsemen won't ride again until PPP is there. Now, I've got Coach, Josh, myself. We're just waiting on PPP to ride again. But there will be a Four Horsemen stream as soon as that redemption arc is delivered. That actually reminds me, we do need to check the poll to see whether or not we have a decisive victory of yes or no on whether to give PPP a redemption arc. Sargoy says, did Sargon win? Did Sargon win? The guy was milkshaked, fished, and horse-shitted. He had people phoning in to national TV talk shows to say that Carl Benjamin reminded them of their rapist. Did Sargon win? I don't know, maybe the jury's still out. Maybe the jury, or maybe in this Carolian age, Sargon did win. PPP must repent. Sargon won. Josh is based. Holy fuck, maybe it is time to end this fucking stream. Thoughts on Coach almost getting killed in Ukraine? I do have a very funny story about that, but I don't have 10 seconds to tell it. But I'm just going to say that I was genuinely under the belief a short while ago that Coach was beheaded, and several things went on behind the scenes, and it was very funny. Okay, we're done. We're done. Bye all. Stay tuned, watch the skies, and remember, above all, trust no one. Juice.